and obviously, thank you so much for the opportunity to continue. I've loved this job. It's experience with USA volleyball has been some of the best experiences I've had in the sport, and the opportunity to lead the national team has just been an incredible time for me. And most importantly, I really felt like we had a group of players who were young and talented and exceptional people that I love working with every day. And I mostly wanted to see this through a little longer, because I think we have a bright future, and I'm excited about the work we're doing and where we can head. Obviously, that priority right now is Rio, but I'm excited to finalize the deal with USA Volleyball. I'm very grateful and honored, and look forward to a great result in Rio and then continuing on Tokyo.
All right, thanks, John. If I could just remind everyone to put your phones on mute unless you're asking a question, which I'm going to open it up for questions now. Just a reminder to identify yourself and who you're with. So, go ahead.
Hi, John. This is Janie McCauley from AP. Congratulations on getting this done.
Thank you.
Yeah. What's the stability mean for this young team? You've kind of developed this youth movement national team, and to have the same coaching staff going forward, for another cycle. What does that mean for not only you, stability-wise, but also for these young players whom you've invested in for the long haul?
Well, I hope that the relationships we've developed will help them achieve their full potential. Understand how to motivate an athlete, what they need to work on. It's a very important aspect of the job that's very hard to do when they're away from home for 8 months. Mostly, I think the continuity will be good for the whole program. I've thought about that quite a bit. This is a very unique job. And, excuse me, the knowledge you need to do this job only comes from doing this job. And every time we've had a head coach in the recent past, they've moved on. Obviously, Hugh took that institutional knowledge over to win it. But then Alan came in, and I came in. I just think that it probably takes you 3 years to figure out how to do this job really well. And now that we have that knowledge, I'm thrilled that we can continue coaching these guys with that knowledge, what we can do with it next.
Coach, Vinny Lopes here from Off the Block, and I want to ask you, you talk about that institutional knowledge. What's been the biggest thing that you've learned from this first quad, and what's maybe some changes that we could see you make based on that experience that you gained from this quad moving into the next quad?
I think the biggest thing we've learned from this quad is just that you can put some young players in, and they can perform at the highest level. And that's an incredible credit to all the university coaches and the university system and the high-performance program that's been so well developed under Doug's leadership. We're producing young players that are capable of coming in and immediately impacting our program. And I think maybe to a surprising degree even to ourselves. And so that's been the biggest lesson. And we'll have to see how we continue to implement that lesson in the next squad. Obviously, we're still really young in some spots. So maybe next squad will have a little less impact on youth, but just continue to develop these young men to see how far they can go with their own careers. That would probably be the biggest lesson. And we'll just have to see. Every year is a little different. You can have a plan, but sometimes those plans change pretty quickly. So we'll just have to see how that gets implemented towards Tokyo.
This is Scott Reed from Orange County Western. I have a question for Doug. First, my memory, where are you guys at with the contract with Anaheim?
Yeah, we're just finalizing an extension with the city of Anaheim and actually a new sports association that they're putting into place right now. So we anticipate that'll happen quite quickly, and that the teams will continue to be housed in Anaheim also through the next quad.
Through 2020. Okay.
Right.
All right. Yeah.
Serious true of mental
you in 2000, 2004?
Yeah, it might be. Haven't thought about that. It's been a little while. I think it's exceptional that we're able to keep both Karch and John through 2 quads, particularly in today's world as the opportunities expand and the challenges of the job expands, and certainly in John's case, balancing the abilities at a major collegiate program with the national team responsibilities. It seems like, to me at least, a lot of historical perspective that what we ask of our coaches continues to increase. And so John in particular has put together, I think, a pretty remarkable staff that allows him to meet those demands and achieve at this really remarkably high level. So I just think it's great for USA Volleyball. I think it's great for the teams. We've got 2 great coaches that have integrated young talent like I can't think of another time when that's happened, almost in the history of our national teams, and that's a really a terrific credit, I think, to John and Karch. So it's pretty special for us to secure the continuity and Karch for another 4 years beyond Rio. I just think it's a home run for USA Volleyball and the future of our national teams.
Jerry again, this is for John. John, is there, all the players depart to their international team and playing, do they ask for advice, or is there any mentoring on might be good teams or good situations for them to grow in the game?
Yeah, that conversation goes on quite a bit, actually. Particularly with the younger players who are doing it the first time, they come in quite a bit to talk about different leagues and different coaches and different agents who they should sign with. And the older players, they begin to figure that out a little bit, their own decisions. But yeah, we're in that discussion very frequently.
Do we have any other questions for either Doug or John?
Yeah. John, Vinny Lopes here again from Off the Block. Looking ahead at this team, I know it's tough to project 5 years down the road, but, how much better do you feel that this team can get in 5 years, or what's some of the skills that you might see some of these players develop just having spent more time in the pro leagues?
I think they can develop quite a bit. A guy like Thomas Jeschke, who left school early to go play professional volleyball, and he really great opportunity at Resovia, and he's improved dramatically from just that 1 year. And so Ika spent his first year overseas, and he's doing some things with the way he's distributing the ball that's really positive for us. I think that these guys are years away from their peak. Taylor Sander, Micah Christensen, and Russell, Thomas Jeschke. These are guys that could really continue to improve. Eric showed he's doing a great job at libero. He's going to peak later in his career. So there's a number of players that have their best playing days ahead of them.
And I do want to ask you, before we let you go, one question about the 2020 Olympics, in particular being played in Tokyo. I know you guys had experience playing in Tokyo this fall. Just what do you expect that atmosphere to be like playing in Tokyo?
Playing in Japan is a phenomenal experience. They have great fan support. Organization is always the best. They love volleyball. They support it. And really one of the best, and maybe one of the strongest ways in the world going and playing there. The World Cup was a great experience for us, and the Olympics, I can only imagine, would be as well organized and even better. And I think all of us were quite excited that the 2020 Olympics were going to be in Tokyo. We're very much looking forward to that.
Any other questions for Doug or John?
John Howe from NBC.
Go ahead, John. How?
Question for Coach John. Just wondering about the approach to the World League this year. How much it'll differ. It's kind of been around to use some younger guys. I wonder if that changes in the Olympic year and kind of your approach to the World League this year.
Yeah, I think there's been a couple different approaches, different countries over the last couple quads. Some of them don't really want to play all their best guys because they want to rest them and make sure they're fresh for the Olympic Games. The United States' approach has been to play all their best players and to try and win World League, and that's, I think, been great for us the last couple quads, and that's the way we're going to go into it. We have taken a look at younger guys the last few years. I think at this point that'll change. I don't see us implementing many new faces. We do have some new faces in the gym this summer, but at this point, I don't think we're going to be throwing too many new guys on the volleyball court. It'll be a very similar look to what we had last year at the World Cup.
And then if I can ask one more, just wanted to know kind of your assessment of what's been going on with the last chance qualifier. Kind of what you've seen from some of the teams. I know France are these two of the top European teams coming out.
Right. As you expect, some great volleyball. I haven't seen all the video yet, but I can't wait to sit down and watch a lot of that. It's probably going as you might expect. Canada has had a couple really close matches that would have been exciting to see them win, but right now probably all the favorites are up on top. China's having a very nice tournament too. We haven't seen China in a while, so it'll be interesting to see how the tournament concludes, see if China can get in. It looks to me like France and Poland are playing great volleyball, and you know that they get to the Olympics, which it looks like they will. They'll be incredibly difficult opponents.
Any other questions?
This is Steve. Hi, Coach. Hi, this is Steve Clemson with Volleyverse.com. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Just a quick question about the World Cup last year. Obviously, you won it for the first time in 30 years. Is there any carryover effect? Sports people like to use that word momentum. Is there, and it was about 6 months ago, so is there any carryover effect for you guys in terms of incidents as you approach Rio?
So, years ago when I was an assistant coach in 2008, we won a World League for the first time. And I remember I received a text from Eric Sullivan, who was one of my former teammates at UCLA and a national team player, played for Doug. And he sent me a text I thought was very insightful, and he felt like he needed to get to the top of the podium sometime during the quad to know what it felt like in order to get to the top of the podium at the Olympic Games. And he said that before the Olympics started in 2008, and of course then we went and won the gold medal. And I've always remembered that. So for us to have been at the top of the podium a couple times, quad, I think it does give a young team confidence that they can win a tournament. And certainly that's our goal, and I think they believe they can do that, and they believe they can win a gold. And